And we're live. Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday morning. I'm sure a lot of you, with the daylight savings time changing and all of the calendars changing, everyone's going to be trying to figure out what time zones they're on and schedules of calls today. It's going to be a little crazy for the week, but give yourself some grace and still thrive with this. And we have Damara Murphy here today, one of our members, and she is excited to bring to you information on how she has been able to thrive in her life instead of just bearing the moments, right? So many times we just bear the moments or push through, but she has tips and tricks to share with us on how to thrive in those moments so you don't have to just bear through it. So we would love to know, how'd you do it? How'd you take that leap, Damara? With everything you have going on in your life and the children, tell us a little bit about you, who you are, and why this is important to you.
Hi, my name is Damara, and I have coined myself as the UnNesting mom because I am a mom. I'm a wife and mom of four. Our children ages are 11, 8, 5, and 3. And right around when I had our third kid, it was like a running joke with my husband. He goes, "You're not nesting where you're preparing for baby and doing all the things and kind of like a nervous wreck for things to be perfect." He goes, "You're unnesting." And he was exactly right because I was overwhelmed. And then we had a fourth child, and it just was kind of like this steamroll of always being in constant toddlerville. I literally for a decade was nursing or pregnant for like a full decade. So I knew that I could not continue this way. I'm an educator by trade. My background is in sociology and education. So I'm big into people and groups. So my gift really has been to be very objective. And I guess to answer that, as far as my introduction, is I had to be objective with myself. And I knew that I had to do something different. And so I guess we'll talk about those steps today.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So how do we do that? How do we not bear the moments, right? I call it life is happening to you. So if you design your life the way that you want it by design, life is happening for you. If you decide not to design your life, then life is just happening by default, right, Damara? So what's going to happen is it's going to happen to you, and then you're just bearing every moment. But you just switch that narrative around, and you have taken the steps and are now teaching others how to thrive. So what are those steps that they take?
Well, the first thing I feel is, as a parent, we need to be realistic. I know that we want to do things like provide emotional stability, making sure that kids feel safe, making sure that we are preparing them for this grand future to be doctors, lawyers, the next president. But really, it's just one day at a time. So I think the first step to unnesting is the fact that parents don't come in pretty shiny bows. We all have had like our experiences. So the first step I had to do was just really look within to see what was my parenting style, to slow down, to see why was I doing the things that I was doing, because a lot of things were on autopilot. So that helped me to realize that I was trying to eliminate stress, but in being rigid and trying to eliminate that stress, I was not like having these moments because it was one thing to the next, just like a stair step case every single day. So I would say the first thing is to navigate our own emotions. So that work can be done by yourself. It can be done with a therapist. It can be done with self-help books, but really knowing who you are. Like, why do you operate this way? What happened in your childhood? How did you come to be? Because studies are finding, I'm also really into the brain. So studies are finding that a lot of behaviors are pretty much automatic. A lot of things that we do 90% of the time are on autopilot. And a lot of traumas that we experience show up. And you'll find that you're triggered, and no one can trigger you better than the people that you live with. So finding that healthy medium for yourself, I would say, would be the first step to unnesting.
Yeah, I love that. You talked about so many good nuggets there about being realistic, looking within and getting to know your emotions, your style, but then navigating those emotions. So, recognizing them, acknowledging them, unpacking them, and realizing that life doesn't have to be hard. How many times have you heard women or men, Damara, say that life has to be hard, right? Maybe they were raised that way. So they just believe every single day that life has to be hard, but it really doesn't need to be.
Yeah, I think that takes us to like a subtopic of just mindset.
Mm,
Mindset is very important. I do a lot with clients on mindset, and I think it's a popular conversation to have with children about having a growth mindset, but it's very important for all humans, including adults, to have a growth mindset. So, with a fixed mindset, you are constantly seeking validation. You are unsure about yourself. You will end up in relationships or parent in a way where almost you need validation, like your children's accolades become your validation of your parenting. Where when you have a growth mindset, you believe that within yourself that there is growth and that you can change.
mm,
So the means to do that comes in different ways, but the fact that there is an ability to change. Um, so I think mindset is very important, making sure that you are affirming yourself, saying affirmations. I've talked about this before. I have a affirmation book. So if I have a thought that is contrary to where I believe I am going or who I am, I write it out there, write it to get it out there, and then I write an affirmation that counteracts it. So, along with knowing who you are, I think it's important to also focus on mindset. And then from there, we can focus on how we treat our babies, how we treat children.
mhm. Yeah, it's so true. We've heard this quote or title or subject, whatever you want to call it. You can't pour from an empty cup. Yet, as mothers, as women, and I'm not saying that men don't do this because I believe that they do the same with the providing for the family and all the other responsibilities that they have, that we try to pour from an empty cup on a regular basis. And how much can you really squeeze out of an empty cup, to give to others? But if your cup is full and you know who you are and your emotions are in check and you're working on your mindset and you're being realistic about what you can and can't get done in a day, right? It creates that ease of life for us so that we're not feeling like we're pushing and pulling all the time, but like you said, we're navigating our emotions and being realistic about that and filling our own cups so that it's overflowing to fill into others. And even when we know when we're at our what they call wits end, I would say that's when your cup's empty.
Mhm.
Your emotions are higher, you're easily triggered, like you said, and then you're not feeling fulfilled at all. But the more that we're fulfilled, the more that we can provide that to others in a way that's soothing and calm and motivational and inspirational, right? Rather than feeling frazzled and like we're empty.
Yeah, and I like how this conversation is going because it's organic. So as we talk, you're hitting on a lot of points naturally because I think women, whether you have children or not, whether you're married or not, just the weight of this invisible load is on women. And it's cute. It's a cute term because I think most women have known that this load is not invisible and have known about it for a long time. But you bring up a good point about self-care, and I always tell clients that self-care is more than bubble baths. So I think as people are realizing, especially during the pandemic, that um, it's more than just burnout, but burnout is definitely real, is that we are getting a lot more information in terms of self-care. So self-care sounds nice if I go take a bubble bath or if you go to Target and get lost for a few hours. But then if you come back and your world is just as chaotic, or if as far as parenting, if there's been dad duties and things are not structured the way that you normally would structure them, then it doesn't really alleviate that much stress. So I think self-care has to go beyond that, that we're talking about activities that you like to do on a regular basis, making sure that you connect with friends. It was very big when I was pregnant. Um, just trying to preserve my energy and being a tired new mom that you
Mm.
lose connection almost naturally. But something about that energizes and sustains you. So I would definitely suggest making sure that you know to connect with friends and help them also fill your cup. And then the last thing that I would say about self care would be boundaries. That
Mm.
no is a complete sentence, and you don't have to explain yourself to anyone. And if you explain them yourself to them, then that's you being nice. But the boundaries are for yourself. So you can't control others, but the boundaries will help you to protect your time, your energy, your space, your finances, and things of that nature.
Yes, girl. Totally. I would say that is so true. And we need to remember that. We need to remember that no is a complete sentence. So if you don't want to do something or you have a way that you do it and someone's telling you you need to do it differently, but it doesn't feel right to you, you know yourself best, right? So I love the boundary setting. The boundary setting also says a lot about your self worth. Let's remember that, okay? Because if you're allowing people to step over those boundaries and allowing people to control your emotions or control your day, then you're saying that it's not worth it, right? That you're not worth it for you to set those boundaries. And that should probably be number one thing is setting boundaries for yourself, because then all the other things about being realistic and navigating your emotions and those things become a lot easier in your mindset for growth when you've set your boundaries and you know clearly what you're rooted in. That is such good stuff, Damara. Thank you for sharing that. So tell our listeners and viewers, how can they get in touch with you? How can they find you? And of course, we'll have you drop your information, as well. But how can they find you?
Yeah, I am on the World Wide Web. I can be found at unnestingmom.com. So that's with two N's, UNNESTING mom.com. I have several platforms, but mainly I'm on IG by the same name, Unnesting Mom.
Great. I love that. And what is the easiest way for people to get connected with you? Can they get connected with you on your website? Is there an easy download for them or a contact form?
Yes, can subscribe to my newsletter. You can also, I'm doing for the month of March, I'm doing complimentary discovery calls, so I can be contacted that way. And then I have some free gems, including that no is a full sentence boundaries if you subscribe.
I love that. That's great. You guys want to jump on in the month of March. You've got 15 days left to be able to jump on her schedule and get a call with her. And really, this is number one to success. I just want to share that with everyone right now. So many people tell me, I just want to work on my business growth. I'm not interested in self development. That is the wrong way to look at growth in your business. Your business can only grow to the extent that you do. So when you're ready to set your boundaries, when you're ready to set your mindset for growth, when you're ready to fill your cup, when you're ready to navigate your emotions and say no to things, then your business will grow. But you've got to have these things in place, because we can't do one without the other. Just
Very
it doesn't
true.
happen.
Because who
Doesn't
you
happen.
are is how you'll show up wherever you go.
That's correct. How you do one thing is how you do
Yes.
everything, right? Damara said it perfectly today. Well, thank you, Damara, for joining us here on the Take the Leap, Had She Do It show. You guys, she's got little kids at home. And if she can perfect this, work on herself, set her boundaries, navigate her emotions with having little ones at home, because I hear the excuse so much, Damara, from moms of, I have to wait till my kids grow up and I can't do anything to focus on me right now. That is so not true. Go to www.unnestingmom.com and share with Damara what you're working on. Have a discovery call with her in the month of March, because if you're really looking for growth for yourself in 2022, Damara Murphy is one of those that can guide you to get there. So Damara, thank you for joining us today. It was wonderful having this chat with you.
Thank you so very much.
All right, ladies, until next time, have a wonderful week and be you and be strong. Bye-bye for now.